I was cheating when my ex-wife left me for her affluent employer and got pregnant. After I won a lot of money, she wants me to act like the parent and begs for another opportunity. After my 32F ex-wife and I, 35M, divorced 6 months ago, she got pregnant in less than a month. Call my ex-wife Olivia. After dating for 3 years, Olivia and I married for 1.5 years. She informed me she had been dating 42M Samuel, her employer, for 2 months. We have a 1-year-old. Her employer informed her he was ready to marry her, so she had divorce papers and other documents ready when she told me about the affair. I was still figuring things out. She hadn't spoken until now, because she wasn't sure Samuel would commit. After he pledged to stay with her, she left me and the kid and fled away with him. Our divorce was straightforward because I wanted full custody of our son and achieved it without any fighting. She fought for nothing else either. I took all we had because she had Samuel. She could live freely since she was rich. I hadn't heard from her since the divorce, but friends said she revealed she was pregnant a few weeks later. Since she's gone, I don't care how far along she is. Because I loved her and felt we had something serious. The breakup was terrible for me emotionally. Because we'd been dating for 3 years, I knew she was selfish. I constantly thought about it, but I never believed it would end our relationship. I'm doing well as a doctor, but Samuel wants my wife's company, making him wealthy. Since she started working there, they had become close, but he never made me feel intimidated since I assumed they were just friends. I believed Olivia made our relationship safe. She loved me as much as I did. I was wrong if it were true. She wouldn't have left me so easily. I can see why someone might leave me easily, but I don't see how someone could abandon a child. She never checked on our son after the divorce. I could hate her more because she deserves it. She attempted to explain that she was leaving because I never had time for her, but Samuel was always there. You can't fool me, though. Because he was wealthy than me, I knew she went. When I informed her, she swore at me and attacked me for proposing it, even though it was true. Since I'm the only heir to my uncle's riches, she recently approached me about money, proving my argument. As background, my uncle was a successful real estate magnate who now heads one of the state's largest enterprises. We were close, but he never married or had children. I knew Dad loved me, but I didn't believe he'd give me his only heir. Despite the ongoing investigation, I'm confident the estate is worth more than $2 million, and I haven't even considered the value of his other assets. I acquired the business from him, but I don't want to operate it. I was lucky he left me directions if I didn't operate the business. According to his orders, I designated his CFO the company's CEO for now to ensure smooth operations. I can resign now since the corporation will pay me regardless of his earnings. I'll stay working because I enjoy it, and now that I have so much money, I can give back more. Stop talking about my wonderful plans. Talk about Olivia's poor ones. A couple pals and I discussed my luck over dinner and cocktails last week. Though astonished, most appeared thrilled for me. I assume one was upset because Olivia heard about it. After learning that, she came over to my place the next day to chat to me. She was huge. I almost told her to go, but I wanted to hear her out. Her return after almost 6 months for the divorce made me think she was important, so I allowed her in. When I asked her in, I had no idea she knew my wealth. She attempted to talk to me, but I didn't care, so I said one thing. Then she made her first mistake by telling me she loved the present. However, she appeared clever to learn about it. However, I felt one of my pals could have told, so I thanked her without saying anything. She then inquired about our son. I was furious because she had been acting like she didn't have a child for 6 months, and suddenly she felt awful and wanted to know how her child was doing. My temper erupted at his mother. I'm pleased my son was with my parents and not home. If he were, he would have heard my conversation with her. She deserves it. Therefore, I don't feel horrible. I informed her about our son when she asked. Eliminate the bullshit and get to the topic since I knew she wasn't here to speak about inconsequential stuff. The woman knew I was nervous, so she told me she was coming to chat about our new kid. I was confused since I assumed she was pregnant with her boss's child. She knew we were breaking up and I didn't question her. I was unhappy about several things. I knew a DNA test would reveal if the kid was mine after birth. I would handle that immediately. She was pregnant, but Samuel should have dealt with her instead of me since I didn't want to be near her without the baby. It was nasty, but true. I didn't think she'd mind because she was confident Samuel was the baby's father. However, calling the newborn the new member of our family surprised me. I asked her whether she was sure about fatherhood first. Unless she was sure, I wouldn't talk to her. She shouldn't have ignored the signal, but she said she'd conduct a DNA test if I asked. She believed that since she was married to me when the kid was conceived, I had equal rights to the child. We hadn't talked about this previously, but she was due in 2 weeks. She then revealed her huge secret: she wanted my name on the baby's birth record as the father since she wanted all her children to share a last name. I wasn't expecting it, and it took me a few minutes to understand her. Despite my reluctance, I replied no immediately. Her idiotic scheme made me laugh in her face. I readily made the link, and she sinned by informing me about the gift. Now it was evident she was protecting taking care of the infant, and even paying child support might secure her future and hers. I became wealthy than Samuel, so she modified her song around me. I laughed at her plan in her face because it was amusing. She felt I would like this concept, so I told her she was foolish and should leave my house since I didn't want to talk to her again. She stayed. Staying there, she attempted to calm me. She was ready for a DNA test, but she believed her kids should have a bond and share a last name. Help them get along. She showed concern for the kids' living arrangements. So our kid might have a brother or sister and get along with the new baby. She asked me to add my name on the birth certificate. Despite being authorized to visit, she hadn't checked on our son since our breakup 6 months earlier. It was sad. Our boy hardly had a mother, and she was behaving like he needed to bond with his sister. However, even if I felt that our son should be close to his sibling or half-sibling, it would still, ending on father. If I'm not the father, putting my name on the birth certificate makes no sense. I told her I could accept her suggestion if the DNA test proves he's the father. Unless it does, I'm uninterested. She tried to fight me again after I told her that. She wanted to show she cared about her future child's bond with our son, regardless of the parent. She did this to get my name on the birth certificate. I assured her that I knew what she wanted and that she shouldn't think I was foolish since I knew the actual reason. She appeared unhappy that I was following her around. A gold digger, she shouted at me again. I ordered her to go, or I'd contact the cops, and she did. She felt awful about leaving me, but I knew it was revenge for infidelity. I was furious despite her departure because I couldn't believe she believed I was so foolish and would let her claim the child as my father. I wouldn't have had any issues if I'm the father. She stated all our kids should share a surname. She wants to acknowledge that she is the father since the birth certificate bothered me, even if I am not. If she came to me, had requested a DNA test, I might have. That way, we may have identified the genuine parents and gone on. But it was obvious that she wanted her portion of my riches. She went all out since she couldn't conceive of a strategy. This infuriated me, and I had to avenge them. I hadn't retaliated. After she visited me and we chatted, I was so upset that I emailed Samuel to inform him what occurred. I didn't care if he knew her plan. Only one thing came to mind: I wanted to stir problems. Despite my doubts, it worked, and Samuel didn't know what she was doing behind his back. You can see they didn't inform me. He ignored my email. It appears he fought Olivia after I emailed it to him. I don't blame him. Anyone in his position would have done the same. She should accept her loss and move on, but she keeps blaming me and writing about it. She posted and contacted all our friends to ask them to talk to me and Samuel. I have no idea. I told him the truth and cleared the air. Clearly, none of our friends back her. Their opinion is that I did everything perfectly. This is unusual because one of them probably informed her about the present and tipped off the other. I didn't know who terminated connections with them. However, Olivia is troubling me till then, so I must deal with her. She keeps writing about how envious she is of my life and how unhappy I am she broke up with me. I've been lying to Samuel about why she came to visit me last week to harm their relationship. She says she merely visited me to see her son. I blocked her from seeing him. She fought me when she came to visit him because I wouldn't allow her bring him back from his grandparents' place. Since that's false, I won't state it as she desires. Despite my efforts to avoid her, she keeps chatting about me. It's frustrating that she believes she can lie about what occurred after writing about me every day for a week. Many friends know the truth. However, many non-friends support her in the comments. I know she's only trying to make Samuel feel sorry for her so he would forgive her and believe her lies. My reputation, even among strangers, is the price. Fairness is lacking. I've considered telling everyone the truth. I haven't spoken since I know it will hurt her reputation. Samuel will definitely dump her, not even married yet. His departure will be simple since they're merely engaged. I need to be sure my decision is proper. Imagine if I posted on Facebook that my ex-wife wanted me on her birth certificate as her father. Child? Change 1. I did it then. I revealed the truth before seeing the comments because my intuition told me to. I then checked Reddit to make sure my option was proper, and I'm delighted most others agree with publishing my side. After breaking up, I blocked her. But I allowed her through so she could view this message. Even though I know I'm doing that, I appreciate that most of our friends are there for me. Because it's probably making her mad. Nobody has shown her sympathy as she hoped. As far as I know, she hasn't had to move back in with her parents because Samuel no longer wants her. There have been several occurrences since Samuel hasn't responded to my email from 7 days and 4 nights ago. I know heaven has problems. I'm delighted this is happening to them since she abandoned me, our kid, and our mother for a richer man than Samuel and I. He also cheated. They received what they deserved, and I hope they learned a lesson. I'll be rich and happy whatever. I need a break, therefore I wish to go with my son in a few weeks. After working so hard since the separation, I needed this time to relax. I think a well-deserved break will help. I'll work harder when I return. Since all my pals have denied telling Olivia about me, I don't know who did. The idea that one of my close friends lied about the gift stings. It's how it is. I'll start planning my son and my trip today. Change 2. Olivia arrived at my door another day. My kid joined me this time. I told her to go now, because I assumed he wasn't coming to see her and she was definitely here to attack me. Olivia makes me act horribly, therefore I didn't want my son to see me. She refused to go and informed me. She was visiting her son. She had visiting privileges, so I couldn't stop her. That was true, so I let her in to see our son. That saddened me. If I had answered no, I might have been prosecuted. My lawyer and I discussed how to prevent this. I don't care if she sees our son. To clarify, I want our son to get along with both parents. But she shouldn't be allowed to drop in and out of his life. Our kid struggled with her absence for weeks after she moved in with Samuel the first time. She left him without saying goodbye. I wanted to avoid it. My lawyer advised us to want controlled meetings with our kid, so I can monitor when she sees him and she can't simply come and go, which is awful for our son. Our son was confused when he saw her, but he was okay after. She didn't notice me during her stay, but at the end she started recording movies. Just before she left, I urged her not to post any of those videos online since I didn't want our small kid to have internet. Life. End of story. She said she was storing these DVDs for herself in case she missed him. I thought that was BS, but fighting with her wouldn't help. It occurred that way. It was odd, but she didn't do anything wrong, so I can't be furious. Update 3: Olivia unexpectedly visited our son a few days ago, so I got my lawyer to seek for limited visiting privileges. I don't think that's necessary after last night. She hadn't criticized me on social media since her previous visit and hadn't used it much. After I explained my side, her postings against me halted for a few days. After that, she didn't say anything. She also visited our son, which seemed odd. Yesterday was terrible. She unexpectedly returned with a lawyer and signed paperwork relinquishing custody of our son. She and her lawyer promised me they would file and get the family court to accept the case soon. She told me before anything happened so I wouldn't be surprised. Since she had just seen our kid a few days before, I had to ask her why she was doing this, but she didn't really answer. Everything she said was that our boy should only have one parent, me, since she would be too busy with her future child. After spending time with him, she felt he would be better off without his mother. He was with me recently. They didn't connect, and she didn't feel anything with him. She agreed to go so I could take control and stop bothering us. I didn't understand what was happening and felt awful for my son since his mother indicated she didn't feel attached. I know it would hurt him if he knew what it implies. However, she was determined to become a mother, so I didn't stop her. She was certain that he would benefit from one parent. I was willing to be his father. I asked her about her child's father as she left. She claimed she wouldn't get a DNA test until the kid was born, so I didn't have to worry. In case the kid was mine, she promised to create a bargain that worked for both of us. She didn't want to talk to me till then, which I understand. I know it's impolite to care for a kid who may not be mine, but I'm already busy. After almost 4 weeks, Samuel responded to my email. I discovered a lot about Olivia in this circumstance. First, he apologized for everything. But I won't discuss that now. After apologizing, he said they had done a DNA test a few weeks earlier and were positive the kid wasn't mine. She realized the kid was his when she approached me. He was upset with her and broke up with her since she didn't belong. She attempted to tell him she came to visit me to discuss about seeing our son more regularly since I wouldn't let her. He didn't trust her story. He believed my account since he had been pleading with her to visit our baby for 6 months, but she always delayed. Her quick change of heart seemed unlikely. They broke up and she moved out after he told her. She remained a child after leaving. She gave him recordings of herself with our son to prove she had seen him several times, that she told him the truth. He's smart enough to see through her. Better, I now understand why she took all those videos to establish her argument, which is the most horrible thing. She was really exploiting our son to reunite with Samuel. After realizing it wouldn't work, she handed up control. He informed me they will raise their child together, even if she wants absurdly high child support. She resigned her career to marry him, so that makes sense. It's their issue now, and I'm done with her. I'll soon have complete custody of our youngster and finish acquiring all my uncle left me. I'll be rich. I never envisioned living this lifestyle 6 months ago, but I'm delighted with it today.